Hi, this is Tony Flying Squirrel here in my War Party studio. Been working on a song called Life in 3D, and it's basically four different stories of people that grew up on reservations. Some still live on reservations, and there's some pretty horrific statistics that go along with this. I acquired these statistics through World Vision, through a report that was submitted, and it chronicles basically the way Pine Ridge mirrors the same poverty conditions of those that you would see in third world countries such as Haiti or the Dominican Republic or Ethiopia. The stats that you'll hear in the bridge section of this song are true. These are as of 2006. So what I attempted to do is basically shed light on some of the experiences in Pine Ridge. The first verse is about a guy who left the reservation and went off to the Vietnam War, was infected with Agent Orange, and came back just, back then we called it shell shock, today we call it post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. The second verse is about the lack of industry near or on Pine Ridge. A gentleman who has to leave the reservation and spend a couple of hours just in travel one way to work because there's no employment on Pine Ridge. There's just literally no industry or anything near there. So there's no economical opportunities for the residents there. Thirdly, and I'm treading lightly on this, and I'm not implying in this song that this necessarily occurs in Pine Ridge, although it could. This can happen in a lot of reservation systems, and I'm simply acknowledging that there is mismanagement of resources, even through tribal governments and reservation authorities. It can happen on Pine Ridge. It can happen anywhere. It can happen right here in Puyallup or in the Muckleshoot casinos too. I'm not implying that it's happening directly at any of those. I'm simply telling a story and shedding light that this does happen here in the United States. And it's basically in providing counseling services that never get anybody anywhere, but yet they still have to soak all this money and resources into these services. It happens. Finally, the last verse is about a girl who is in these horrific domestic abuse situations, all happening at once to her within the home. It's a very tragic story, and this is actually partly taken from a direct story from a girl that I met who grew up and still lives on a reservation in New Mexico. These particular events, some of them did happen to her, some of them did not. I'm not going to specify which ones. I have changed her name, as I have with all of these characters within this story. It's simply to tell the story that life on reservations is really, really bad. The first thing in telling these stories is I wanted to make sure that first, are they accurate? Secondly, I wanted to know from my friends that some have grown up on reservations, some still do, and a lot of us involved together actually do ministry on some local reservations. So the first question I had was it accurate? Secondly, was it honorable? And in the elders that I spoke with and other people of multiple ages coming from these backgrounds, the answer was yes. If it were not honorable and honest, then I simply could not do the song. It wouldn't be appropriate. It wouldn't be fair. And at the same time, I don't wish to romanticize Native culture. There are a lot of things that are going on in Native culture that are quite harmful. And some of these you'll see in this song. So I'm going to play the song from beginning to end. Mind you, there's no bass tracks on this song. These are raw tracks. They've not been EQ'd. They've not been produced other than just hitting arm and record and taking them down. So this is not the same audio quality that you would hear in a produced mastered copy. These are not mastered tracks because they're not complete. So this is life in 3D as told through 4 different characters.
Eddie left the res one day for the land of orange smoke. There he met Charlie, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Now he sits on the porch all day with some moss left to unpack. Yeah, Eddie left the res one day, and he ain't ever coming back. One day to go start a new job. An hour hitchhiking, 2 on the bus, then he had to jog. By the time he finally shows up, he's just got nothing left. Billy's doing all he can to earn an honest paycheck. Here's patience on his couch while he sits directly across. Behind a mahogany desk, button paid for by the slots. He listens with his index finger at rest on his top lip. He sighs in condescension, never helping him get a grip.
Roger on Union 121.
There are approximately 75,000 residents on the Pine Ridge Reservation. Pine Ridge has little or no industry, technology, or commercial infrastructure. Over 33% of Pine Ridge's reservation homes lack basic water, sewage systems, and electricity. 60% of the homes on Pine Ridge are infested with black mold. A 2006 report states that 97% of Pine Ridge's population lives below federal poverty level, the second highest in the Western Hemisphere, with Haiti being first. Life expectancy on Pine Ridge is 48 years for men and 52 years for women, the lowest in the United States. The rate of diabetes on Pine Ridge is 800% higher than the U.S. national average. Alcoholism, diabetes, heart disease, and malnutrition are pervasive on Pine Ridge, affecting 8 out of 10 families. The infant mortality rate on Pine Ridge is the highest on this continent and is about 300% higher than the U.S. national average. Teen suicide among the Lakota on Pine Ridge is 150% higher than the U.S. national average. Bridget cuts her own wrists. It's her way of trying to cope. Her parents have no idea. They're too numb from smoking dope. She's frightened as can be to tell them of the child she bears inside. At 15, she feels helpless, contemplating suicide.
So there you go. That's life in 3D. That's a bit of a snapshot of reservation life here in the United States. Third world countries right here on our own soil. If you want to do something about it, World Vision has a fund called National Rural U.S. Strategy. If you go to worldvisionusprograms.org and look under Rural Ministries, you will find a snapshot where you can provide funding to help minister to people on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, the Navajo Nation in Smith Lake, New Mexico, as well as other areas of poverty in rural United States, such as Immokalee, Florida. These are ministries that don't have an opportunity to really grow without spreading the awareness, and without spreading the awareness, there's little that can be done in impact. So here in the United States, it's a little bit difficult for a company like World Vision to make the decision to use the funds that they receive for these types of ministries on marketing, which means getting the word out, or by having the impact, because the value of the dollar is certainly less here than it is abroad. So, with that being said, I feel it's my obligation and duty to share with you that the National Rural U.S. Strategy Fund does exist, and that you can access it by going to www.worldvision.org, or you can actually link it through the U.S. Programs website, which would be better, www.worldvisionusprograms.org. Go there, make a donation of any amount. Anything would be awesome and appreciated. It would go towards the impact. World Vision is a Christian humanitarian organization that does what they say they do with the funds that you provide for them. Their financial report is there available, so you can see the accountability that's involved. They're a trustworthy organization. I put my full trust in them, and have for quite some time now. So please go to worldvisionusprograms.org and make a generous gift. Thank you.